Hi everybody, it's Christy from Retail Bliss. I'm back. This is take two because I forgot to hit record. So that will show you how tired I am. I'm just coming off of a big show for my fashion line Encircled. And actually the topic today is very apropos. It's about building a trade show booth for under $500. This is essentially what we just did for our show. We had bigger plans to do some fabulous wood walls and make it really build some racking, some shelving, and then that just fell through last minute, so we were forced to DIY it. And what I came upon was that it was really difficult to figure out how to do this and whether it's been done from the internet. There was a couple of resources that I'm going to link to below that helped us gain the confidence, but I wanted to make sure that this resource was out there for everybody to use and watch and share this video for anybody who's looking to glam up their trade show booth. So we just did the yoga show. Previously in Toronto, this was one of our favorite shows, and again, this year did not disappoint. However, this year we did a bigger booth. We did a 10 by 10 corner booth, which means for those of you that aren't familiar with shows, our booth was basically set up like this. So we had two walls, and then this area was open to both sides of traffic. We used something in North America called pipe and drape. So essentially it's just metal piping with these hideous polyester curtains on it. And actually for us at the show, we had Thai yoga massage behind us, so they didn't have any pipes. So it was actually very wonky ours because it would sway a lot because there wasn't some back beam supports. But normally I think that would be a lot more supportive. So when I break down how we did this, I'm going to flash up some pictures as I'm talking here. But essentially what we did was we built two main feature walls to explain a little bit about the brand, our products, how we work, why we do what we do. As well, we built a change room. I'm going to link to a blog post which has a full layout diagram of our booth. You're welcome to borrow, copy, or steal it if you want for your upcoming show. It worked out really well for us. And I'm just going to go wall by wall and explain kind of what we did. So essentially what we did was buy foam core. If you're not familiar with foam core, it's basically Bristol board almost with foam sandwiched in between. You can get it in like a variety of thicknesses. It can be super thin for like projects and stuff like that. But for the show, we used 1/2-inch boards, so it's about that thick. And we used 4 of them. So each of those boards was 4 feet wide and about 8 feet high. So together they formed 8 by 8. So we kind of pushed them out of the booth so that they cover off the sides all the way to the edge of the alleyway where the customers are walking by. And then the back end that wasn't covered, we kind of hid behind our trade show curtain. So essentially what we did was we bought these 4 sheets. They're about $35 each plus tax, or 40 something plus tax. And we used zip ties to adhere them to the pipe and drape. So my employee cut out little holes using an X-Acto knife, and actually 2 holes per top of each board, and then we wrapped them with a zip tie, 1 per each hole, and then we went behind them and seamed them with clear duct tape. And this actually worked really well. On the carpet too, we had rented a carpet, and that kind of held the bottom of the board really secure. And I think if we'd had more piping behind us, it would have felt even more secure, but because we didn't, it felt a little wavy at times, but it was actually really good. For the change room, I actually used a shower curtain, an adjustable shower curtain rod that was in like a pewter color. It has 2 finials at the end, and I literally just mounted it on top and didn't put anything on it, and it just stayed. And I think it was because of the finials. And then we used a curtain that we use in our change room here. It's just from IKEA. It has grommets. It's about $40 for a pair. You're going to want to pick a pair that's opaque, obviously. We have like some dark gray ones, which look really nice. And we just hung those up, and we used kind of a clip to keep it closed when people were in there, and put a little hanger light as well from IKEA that was like $10. And then on one of our walls, we put, my graphic designer designed a whole banner that says, pack less, do more, and has kind of our mantra underneath. It's super graphical, and what we wanted to do was have the ability to switch this out if we wanted to. So I actually pasted it onto a thinner foam core that we had cut in half, a 3/16 of an inch piece, and used industrial strength Velcro to Velcro it to the wall. So you'll see it in the photo. And then the other thing we wanted to do, because our brand is so focused on travel, was create like a travel memories wall. So using some twine, we ran it across that wall and hung up photos from one of my favorite Instagrammers, Anna with Love, who has these cute prints, Danielle Laporte, as well as some of our own postcards that we put into the packages. So that kind of formed that one wall, and then we had a rack along there as well. Then on the other wall, we really wanted to showcase our brand, our website, and our premier product, the Chrysalis Cardi. So our brand logo was just a decal we had printed, and you peel and stick it, and same with the website. And then for the explanation of our how to wear our multi-way garment, my designer created 8 different graphics, and we bought 8 different frames from IKEA for about $60. And then we use these things called No More Nails. They're like little patches to stick them onto the foam core, and then they remove right off when you're done with them. And they were amazing. They never fell down during the show, which was awesome. We had just kind of like an IKEA shelf that was tiered where we stored some stuff for the show. We had like a little cactus on there. We had some our leg warmers and smaller items on there, and it worked out really well. And then we had some storage underneath. Then we had a couple more racks, which was great. And we had a mirror kind of over there as well. 10 by 10 seems like a lot of space, but when you start to fill it up with people and stuff, it actually is really, really small. So altogether, we spent about $500 on that booth. You can see from the pictures, it looks great, and we are actually able to salvage the foam core. The things I didn't include in that budget were the renting of the zip van. So I rented a zip van, and unfortunately, on the way down there, drove it in like basically a huge rainstorm. And on the way back, it was a snowstorm, and we got stuck twice. It was awful, but that was probably about $130 for the van round trip. And then some of the stuff that we bought for the show that we'll reuse, I didn't include that. Like we bought a step stool, for example, which is now in our office. But as I mentioned, we were able to salvage the foam core, so we will use it for an upcoming show. So I kind of consider it a recurring, the cost per use will go down as we use it more. But I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I think worked really well other than the booth design for us. So one thing is always remerching the booth and kind of moving stuff around. So one day we would put our V-necks on the exterior, one day it would be the dressy sweatpants, and that seemed to work really well because people don't like to come into the booth. It's kind of a funny customer behavior. The second thing I think we did really well was we created these giveaways. Often people will come to your booth and they'll say, can you have a card? Or whatever, and people will give them just like a branded card. It's pretty useless. Most of them get dropped. We found a bunch of them in our booth. What we did was created a printed carry-on only packing list. The same one you get when you opt into emails at encircle.ca, but it's super fun, and the group of yogis who were there really loved it. And on the back it has a coupon code and our website and our mission. And we've already had a bunch of sales from these as well. We had somebody in our studio today who picked one of these up and wanted to shop with us, which was pretty cool. And then I think probably my last little tip was to really spend some time on the aesthetic and the brand of the booth. I think that's so important to communicate the message that you're trying to communicate. And really, I think our sales were up 80 to 90% over last year for the show. And I think the booth made the difference. It just felt more professional. So take the time to see what you can do. It may not always cost you a lot of money, but you'll have to be super creative. So hopefully that was helpful. If you want to leave me some comments or questions, leave them. Click on the blog post, leave them in the comments section. The other thing you can do is share this video if you think you know somebody who would find it very helpful. And the last thing you can do is sign up for our newsletter, and then you'll never miss one of my vlogs. So thank you for watching my vlog, and have a great day. Talk to you soon.